The Music Inventor Podcast, Episode 3. Hey there, this is Jonathan, and welcome back to the Music Inventor Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about why I chose to major in organ performance and how you can become more strategic in how you approach your academic future. Whenever I first decided that I actually wanted to major in music, there were a lot of different options that I needed to choose from for what I would specifically major in. And those included music education, performance, composition, technology, music therapy, plus most schools have other programs that are sort of special and unique to them. In addition to that, I had to decide what instrument to focus on. And this might not be a problem for you if you don't have multiple instruments, but I did. At the time I had piano and I had cello that I had to choose from. And in the end I wound up choosing piano. I decided to go for a piano performance major. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do as a career, so performance seemed like a safe option. About 2 months before my applications were due, I realized through a sort of out-of-the-blue experience that I really had a calling to be a professional conductor for orchestras and a church music director. So then I began looking into programs that interested me and that would apply to my future career. So if you're thinking about being a conductor, I'm just going to tell you that there is almost no undergraduate conducting program, at least in the United States. So I sort of just figured you might as well study whatever you want for your bachelor's. So I applied to several colleges of music for music composition, because that is something that I've always done and really enjoyed doing. So and I thought that it would really relate well to conducting, and I wasn't wrong. And then whenever I was about to apply at FSU, I was looking through their programs of study and I saw their sacred music program. And that really caught my eye. It appeared to be a good thing for someone interested in doing some church music. It combined some music studies with theology and philosophy, and that seemed really interesting to me. So I was planning to have piano as my main instrument at FSU and go for their Bachelor's of Sacred Music program. So I sent an email to the Sacred Music Program coordinator expressing an interest in the program, and I mentioned that I planned to come in on piano. He replied and informed me that the only two options for the Sacred Music program were voice and organ, but that I could audition on piano to learn organ from scratch. So that was a little bit of a shock at first because I had not found anything on their website that specifically said that, and I just was sort of taken back by that. And it was like, wow, what am I going to do? But then I decided that the program sounded enough like what I wanted to do in the long run that I wouldn't mind learning organ along the way. And the more that I thought about it, the more the idea of knowing how to play the organ appealed to me. So I went to the audition, and the organ professor told me that the Sacred Music program was more for people who wanted to go on to be full-on pastors and not full-time musicians. So he recommended that I do organ performance. And he said that as a conductor, a performance major will look way better in the future than some sacred music major would. So I then asked why shouldn't I major in piano performance or cello performance? And the response was that there are already a ton of pianists and cellists out there, and a lot of piano performance and cello performance majors. But there are not a lot of organists. Organists are in very high demand. There are a grand total of like 5 or 6 people in the organ department here at FSU, which just goes to show that the art of playing organ is dying out to a certain extent. I don't think that it's going to completely evaporate, but I think it's safe to say that it's declined a lot from maybe a few decades ago. So my current plan is to graduate with my Bachelor's of Organ Performance degree and then go to graduate school for conducting. And the reason that I tell you all of that is to help you realize that you might have to do your undergraduate work in something other than your main field. And if you do, you really need to think carefully about what your major will be. For me, I found a program that will both help me in the future as a conductor and will give me a fairly stable income while I am working on building my reputation. And that wraps up today's episode. Thanks for listening, and I hope you will check out the blog at johnthemusicinventor.blogspot.com, and that's John spelled John. And don't forget to look at the old Instagram page at music_inventor. Stay tuned for episode 4 coming up hopefully pretty soon. Have a great day.